News, find out how one Cal Poly student spent his summer.
And later, find out how new policy may change future housing plans for sophomore students.
With the scan of a code, you'll be able to hike after dark. This story and more coming up.
Hello and welcome to Mustang News. I'm Dominique Morales.
And I'm Sabrina Pasqua. Here are today's top stories. While most people spend their summers hanging by the beach, a Cal Poly student spent his in the North Atlantic helping scientists do climate change research.
Not many students can say they spent their summer on the southern end of Greenland helping scientists collect oceanic research. But fourth-year mechanical engineering student E.J. Rainville did just that.
I talked with one of the graduate students, Astrid Pacini, who worked just down the hall from me, and they were needing extra hands on this trip. It was aboard the RV Neil Armstrong, which is a ship run by the Woods Hole Oceanographic Institute.
Rainville was working 2 a.m. to 10 a.m. aboard the 238-foot Neil Armstrong with the overturning in the subpolar North Atlantic program, also known as OSNAP.
We would just help launch the instrument into the ocean, so it would be lowered off the side of the ship on a crane, and lowered down it would take profiles of temperature and salinity and also pressure measurements.
The voyage was not all smooth sailing. The crew encountered swells of up to 26 feet high.
There's a lot of storms during the trip. It's a really stormy area, and so the sea state, or how large the swell is, varies a lot. So there are some days where it's glassy and smooth and calm, and then some days where you're getting into 7 or 8 meter swell.
But it wasn't all work and no play. The crew got to do some exploring of their own.
Got to see some northern lights. That was really incredible.
OSNAP is an 8-year research program, and Rainville hopes to work with them again next summer.
It was a great experience. I'd love to keep going out on trips like this.
Stephanie Garibay, Mustang News.
Inclusion has been one of the driving forces in the creation of the new Yaqui Tutu community. Mustang News reporter Christian Laubacher asked students how they're responding to a few new changes.
Just under 1,500 freshman students have been living in the new Yaqui Tutu residential community for almost a quarter. With the start of a new housing community comes a few changes. One of the major changes is the addition of all-gender bathrooms. Graphic communication freshman Elodie Johnson says she was nervous about the idea of all-gender bathrooms, but it's just become a part of everyday life.
Once I got here, you get used to it and it actually becomes like super normal.
Johnson also says students are receptive to the indigenous names of the buildings.
I would say students are pretty good at trying to get them and pronounce them accurately, more so than I thought they would be. I am learning a lot of the names through other people who live in the other buildings.
Christian Laubacher, Mustang News.
And with the Yaqui Tutu dorms opening this year, more housing is available on campus. Now, Cal Poly student athletes are required to live on campus as a sophomore. Athletics Director Don Oberhelman has wanted student athletes to live on campus when he first came to Cal Poly. According to Oberhelman, research has shown that requiring sophomore student athletes to live on campus is overall beneficial to their success.
Being close to campus, being close to office hours, it's always nice just to go in and be able to run to class real quick, not have to worry about time.
Oberhelman says he predicts this new policy will apply to all sophomore students in the future.
And now over to Katie with the weather.
Thanks, Dawn. Grab those raincoats and we'll be right back with your weather.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies. Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Maria, so how's work?
It was fourth period biology. Our students just weren't getting how easily viruses spread. So Ms. Bell and I had them role play a zombie virus outbreak. By the time they had all learned the lesson, all the living were dead. Hey, how's your job going?
That big sales meeting I planned? Next year, I might get to go.
See on page 4 that the projections need to be earthquake. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day.
I have no time for this.
So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
Good afternoon, San Luis Obispo. My name is Kaylin Hoyer, and let's get into your forecast. Today is Thursday, November 29th, 2018, and if you look, we have a high of 59 and a low of 49. And it's going to be a little rainy today. We have a 10% chance of rain, but as you see, it's been raining on and off all of today. And we have southwest winds of 13 miles an hour. And into our North County, Paso Robles has a high of 58 and a low of 47. Atascadero, 58-45. Santa Margarita, 45-57. San Luis Obispo, 49-59. And for South County and Extended, we have Arroyo Grande at 62-50. Napomo, 63-49. Orchid, 62-49. Vandenberg, 62-51. And Guadalupe at 63-51. And of our beaches, we have Cayucas at 61-49, Morro Bay 61-49, Avila Beach 62-50, Pismo Beach 63-50, and Oceano 63-51. And make sure if you're going to the beaches, be careful. There's a lot of high swells, and waves we're seeing between 8 feet and 15 feet. And for our 5-day forecast, today it's rainy. As you can see, we have a high of 59 and a low of 49. Tomorrow, we're going to have a break between rain. Okay, we have 61-45, Saturday rainy 57-39, Sunday partly cloudy, and Monday partly cloudy, both in the high 50s and low 30s. All right, and back to Maddie with the weather.
Thanks, Katie. I'm Maddie Burgess here with your Mustang News update. So last Thanksgiving, we had the Thanksgiving break, and the Cal Poly football team had some games. They were finishing up their comeback season, and we have some news about how they did, and also some updates on the future games that you can catch for the rest of the quarter. We're going to start off with football. They had a 1-10 season last year, but they made it up and now are at a 5-6 season this year. So that's 4 more wins than last year. So go Mustangs. And volleyball is doing great as always. They cinched their second conference title this year. That's 2 in a row. Here you can see some footage of the football games that happened this past week. This is Cal Poly Mustangs game. And led by senior quarterback Khalil Jenkins and Joe Prothrow, Cal Poly overcame a first quarter deficit by scoring 5 touchdowns against the Thunderbirds. Jenkins threw for all 5 touchdowns, a season high, and Prothrow set the record for career rushing yards at Cal Poly. The Mustang win concludes their 2018 season. Like I said before, they had that overall record of 5-6, and that's a huge improvement from last season's record of 1-10. They finished 500 in the Big Sky Conference with 4 wins and 4 losses. The volleyball team closed out their season with another win. The Cal Poly women's volleyball team secured sole possession of the Big West title after the Mustangs sweeping Cal State Fullerton in the last game of the regular season. Sophomore outside hitter Janie Stivers notched 3 consecutive kills to pull Cal Poly up 22-13. While the Titans scored 4 of the next 6 points, an error from the team gave the first set to the Mustangs, 25-17. After the first set, the Mustangs kept their foot on the gas to secure the sweep. The team finished with 25 wins and 2 losses and clinched their second straight conference title, earned that 23rd seed in the NCAA tournament. Coming up for Mustang sports this weekend, the Cal Poly volleyball team will take on the University of San Diego in the first round of the NCAA tournament. The teams will play at University of Southern California on Friday at 6 p.m. If Cal Poly wins, they'll play either USC or Sanford on Saturday at 7 p.m. The women's basketball team will try to pick up their second win of the week against St. Mary's in Mott Gym at 2 p.m. And the men's basketball team will travel to Fresno State to take on the Bulldogs on Saturday at noon. And now we're back to Sabrina.
After the break, a student startup that is looking to change the way you cook.
I got some Oxy after I hurt my neck. First, I took them to feel better. Then, I just kept taking them. I didn't know they'd be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
A company company started by Cal Poly students has been making waves in the startup business community.
Meals on Wheels gives me a chance to
Student startup company Clove has been creating a product that might change the way you cook and eat your meals in the future.
Clove is making a pantry, which is an automated smart appliance for growing food indoors super quickly, efficiently, and easily. We sell prepackaged seed pods,
especially for Cal Poly.
Device. And then the device does all the work from lighting, watering, nutrient dosing, so that you can get fresh ingredients and you can incorporate those into your meals that you cook every single day.
Clove has also earned lots of attention from people in the startup business community.
So since I joined Clove and since we kind of started out on this process, I was able to participate in our demo day, which is held once a year for all the accelerator companies, where people from across the state of California, angel investors, people with an interest in what we're doing come and they hear what all of the teams have been working on.
Clove still has a ways to go, but is headed in the right direction.
The next steps for Clove are to just continue customer development, continuing to refine exactly what our product is going to look like, what problems our solution is going to tackle with this first product, and then just securing investment so that we can actually go out there and run a Kickstarter campaign, build a community of people who want this device, and then just build the device for them.
Jason Amberg, Mustang News.
San Luis Obispo has kicked off a new pilot to allow hikers to hike past Madonna at Sunset El Madonna Mountain. Cerro San Luis is one of the most well-known hikes in San Luis Obispo, and hikers are now allowed to be on the mountain until 8:30 p.m. The new hiking pilot allows hikers to sign up for night hiking permits simply by scanning a QR code.
Students, a lot of people have class until later. I know I have class on Tuesday, Thursday till 6 or sometimes a little later than that. So just being able to hike past 5 o'clock and when it's dark will be nice if I ever feel the urge to hike up Cerro.
For those looking to utilize the extra 2.5 hours of available hiking time, permits can be obtained at the beginning of the trail simply by scanning the QR code if caught without a permit. Hikers will face a $560 fine. There are 65 permits available every night, and the city is seeing about 20 people sign up each night.
And yet another local Cal Poly alumni has started a unique business with her passion.
Most people casually tie knots every day, but for one local artist, tying knots has become a business. These knots make up what become the popular art form known as macrame.
The knots to learn initially are pretty simple, but it's almost overwhelming because you can do so much with just a few knots.
Altman started to macrame in early 2017, but what's most impressive is she learned to make these complex pieces completely from the internet.
She just taught herself, went on YouTube, learned to do it, and all of a sudden she was making these beautiful pieces.
After using social media websites to learn the craft, Altman now uses them to sell her work, upwards of 200 pieces to be exact.
The Central Coast is a really special place because makers are just embraced so fully here, and everyone is so into supporting local artists.
Altman says she could only do what she does on the Central Coast. She not only gathers inspiration from the natural wonders of the area, but gathers driftwood from local beaches to anchor many of her pieces.
It's fun because every piece of driftwood is completely different, so I often take the driftwood and then I'll get inspiration from that.
Altman says she thinks the careful balance between simplicity and complexity is a large reason for the draw to macrame in recent years.
It's just such simple materials. It's like a piece of wood and cotton string or rope, and that's all you need to make such a beautiful organic piece. A machine can't really make macrame.
Altman sells her work on her Etsy shop called Tied and True, as well as on her Instagram page. Lauren Arndt, Mustang News.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dominique Morales.
And I'm Sabrina Pasqua.